Well, good morning. I'm certainly very pleased to welcome the new Majority Leader of the State Senate, Malcolm Smith, a colleague and friend in government, back to the city of Buffalo. Senator Smith has been here many times as Senate Democratic leader, and prior to that, I'm also very pleased to welcome the new chair of the Senate Economic Development Committee, Senator William Stachowski, and the new chair of the Senate Environmental Conservation Committee, Senator Antoine Thompson. In less than 48 hours of Senator Smith becoming majority leader and the Senate Democrats becoming the majority in the Senate, he is here in Buffalo to talk about economic development, to talk about economic stimulus, and has indicated that the number one priority for the Senate in this legislative session is the economy, is getting the economy on track across New York State and making sure that Upstate is a major part of that, that there's a strong focus on Upstate, and we had a very meaningful and substantive conversation on legislative priorities in the city of Buffalo, on project priorities in the city of Buffalo, and we feel very good about this visit and the focus that is going to be on Buffalo and Western New York. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Majority Leader of the New York State Senate, Senator Malcolm Smith.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it's good to be here with my colleagues, Senator Bill Stachowski and Senator Antoine Thompson. As the Mayor indicated, this visit here is not symbolic. This is a very clear expression and a clear commitment to making sure that the upstate economy is back on track, putting it very simply. One of the unfortunate changes that we did not do early on, and we are going to do, is change the business paradigm by which we handle revenue for the state of New York. We focused so much on that we forgot that the rest of the state has the ability to generate revenue if, in fact, we had invested in it. We will do that in the future. We will no longer allow the revenue portfolio for the state of New York to be solely relied on Wall Street, which provides about 20% of that revenue. We want people to understand that all of our cities, upstate cities, the big five, Buffalo, Syracuse, Yonkers, Rochester, that they have commerce possibilities, and with Bill Stachowski, Chair of Economic Development, and Antoine Thompson, who will clean up these brownfields and then turn them over to Senator Stachowski to build, we will get the state back on track. In particular, there's very specific projects that we want to be helpful with. UB 2020 is one of them. In particular, I have my own particular interest, which is high-speed rail for the state of New York, so we can bring transportation to the 21st century. We want to be very helpful to the mayor and his team with the stimulus package that is going to Washington. I know he gave it to the Governor Patterson. We've been in dialogue with many of the President-elect Barack Obama's team to make sure that New York State gets its fair share of the stimulus package. If we don't bring back the economy of New York State, if we don't create jobs here, if we don't let our children have the opportunity to stay here and raise their families here just like we did, we will never be able to consider this to be the Empire State again. And our focus and our goal is to make sure that happens. This is a great time for all New Yorkers. Many people have come to me over the last 48 hours congratulating me, and I keep telling them it's not about me. It's not about Malcolm. It's not about Antoine. It's not about Bill. It's about the 19.5 million people. 57% of them said, we would like to see some change in Albany. We want you to reform state government. We want bills to be able to come to the floor, whether it's Democrat or Republican. We want to be able to make sure that we have bills that can be discharged from committees. We want it to function like a real legislature, and we will be doing that. Monday, we will start that process by passing some new rules in the state Senate that will make it a more participatory state legislature. It will not be about Democrats and Republicans. It'll be about what is best for the people of this state. When I go to Watertown or Suffolk County, everybody says the same thing. Can I educate my children? Can I get a job or open up a business? If, God forbid, I get sick, is there a decent hospital that I can take care of myself in? We're going to do the best we can, and it will take us some time. We don't want you to think that this is going to happen overnight. It took us 40 years to change this dynamics, and it's going to take us a little while to get it straight. But with gentlemen like Bill Stachowski and Antoine Thompson, I am confident that you will quickly see the benefits of putting a process in that Democrats and Republicans will be working together on. So I thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have done a wonderful job up here in Buffalo. I see the new courthouse going on across the street. I want to come up here and be a part of the waterfront project that we're going to make sure gets done. And I want to make sure that my colleagues have the opportunity to share with you some of their thoughts as well. So I'd like to bring up now Senator